It's so important to know what your fear brain is and how that works, just to make a little bit more sense of it and not get lost in the fear world. So I remember when I was in the crash state of my fearful avoidant attachment style that I would wake up every morning with almost a shock of fear. Like there was this jolt. I woke up, maybe a millisecond I would not really feel anything, and then there was this jolt, and I had this fear and anxiety, and I felt like I had to solve something or had to be alert, or and that's when I had doubts. That's when I had obsessive thoughts about my relationship. And in that time, it felt like happy thoughts were not allowed. Like I wasn't allowed to have happy thoughts. I was always supposed to worry. That felt like the responsible thing. So I never felt safe. And the world just kind of seemed like such a dark space, which is, I mean, that's just sad and exhausting at the same time. So I'm gonna take you on a little journey in the world of the fear brain, because it really is a world, and it works in a very specific way. And once you know that, it will help you so much in healing the fearful avoidant attachment style. So there's a difference between psychological fear and physiological fear. And a fear of heights, for instance, is a physiological fear, and that's a good fear to have, just to make sure you don't get too close to an edge. But then you have psychological fear, and that can turn on your fear system. These are not like, how do you say that? Real words. These are just the words I kind of gave, whatever I felt to make sense of it, that really helped me and that have helped the people that have gone through my Dutch program. So fear system and fear brain are not like true psychological terms, probably. But hopefully they will help you too. So your fear brain is working when your fear system is on. So when your body is in fear mode. And when all of that is on, it's really, really, really hard to feel safe. What you need to know about the fear brain is that it is always trying to protect you. Always. That is the biggest job the fear brain has. It is trying to protect you. And you think that once you've solved a problem, once you've solved this problem of your relationship, of figuring out whether this is a one, or maybe when you've broken up, or when you figured out that this for sure is your person, you think that then you will be happy. So all this fear and all this panic and all this anxiety and all these obsessive thoughts are leading to something. But what I need you to know is that your fear brain is just here to protect you. It does not care about whether you're happy or whether you're feeling love. Love will make you happy. Fear is just trying to protect you. So it's not the job of your fear brain to make you happy. That's not its job. It's just trying to protect you. So your fear brain only wants certainty, 100% certainty if it's at all possible, and that's what it's going for. And it needs it to be, like we say, waterproof in Dutch. So it needs it to be completely 100% certainty, complete control. That's what your fear brain is looking for, and that's what it needs. That's very hard in a world where you just don't have that certainty, and that can make you feel so unsafe. But that's why it's very important to know the fear brain, because otherwise you can get swept up in it so easily, thinking that you're actually working towards a solution. But because your fear brain wants that control and wants that 100% certainty, it is easy to feel a lot of love with somebody where you know for sure it's not going to work out. And the for sure part is the important part. That's where your fear brain is like, well, yeah, this sucks. I know this is not going to work out, but I know it for sure. So I have that certainty, and so I can allow my feelings, which sounds crazy, right? I told you that the fear brain world is a very different world, but it helps so much to understand it. And also, because you want that certainty, you want your partner to be perfect. You want your relationship to be perfect. So not just good enough, no, perfect. They have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. You want to have perfect feelings. And you also want to feel those perfect feelings all the time. 100%, complete control. That's what your fear brain is looking for. And it's not realistic. It is not attainable. And so you will always be frustrated and always feel that pain of it not being perfect and you not having that certainty. So that's not the way to go. Because your fear brain kind of works like the brain of a child. And that is where this foundation was laid. And because of that, it works very black and white, just like the brain of a child does. I think it is between the ages of 3 and 7 where this foundation for the fear brain is laid. So it works very black and white. It's very fatalistic, which just means that one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong. Like I do this one thing wrong and then I'll die. And that is very fatalistic, and that's also how children's brains work, just because they haven't developed fully yet. It feels powerless. The fear brain feels powerless, and that's why also you need 100% control, 100% certainty, because you feel like you can't do anything about your situation, so everything has to be perfect. And that's why it also can really feel like a fear of death. Because when you're a child and you do something wrong and you get abandoned by your parents, that could mean death. And that kind of gets ingrained in that foundation of the fear brain. And it's really hard to put things in perspective. So that's another point. So that's how the fear brain kind of works. In that childish way almost. So it really works differently from how you would think normally. When you're relaxed, that's when your adult brain kind of switches on. So the more fear you feel in your body, the more your fear brain is on and is going to look for the cause of that fear and that anxiety. And that can cause you to have doubts about your relationship, because your doubts are a coping mechanism. It is something to do, an action to do, just to be able to cope with that feeling of fear in your body. And it allows you to have the feeling that you're actually working towards a solution, that you're working on it actively. And it's also a way of your body to find a solution for the stress that your body has. Whenever you feel fear and you feel anxiety and you feel stress, your body wants to get rid of it. And so it is trying to find a solution and finding a cause that you can fix right now. But your relationship is not necessarily the cause of all this stress and anxiety, even if 100% of your thoughts are about the relationship. So how is that possible? Your fear brain only knows that your body is in a stressed, fearful, anxious state, and it has to find a solution. And your fear brain, because of because it's not as developed, it can only find a solution in the now, in something that is happening right now, not in the past. Because a lot of times you feel this fear because of old wounds or fears or beliefs, triggers. But your fear brain is very primal and works in a primary way, in the way that it just is trying to find an acute cause of the stress you are feeling that is happening now. And that might be your relationship. Your relationship is there right now, and you could do something about your relationship. So the reason your fear brain bites down on your relationship is that there is the possibility to make a big choice, which means breaking up, even when you don't want to. But if your fear brain creates the story, oh, this stress I'm feeling, this fear I'm feeling, I need to find a solution, I need to get rid of this. Oh, it might be your relationship. But when you break up, then everything will be fine. Then you will have solved the problem, according to your fear brain, obviously. So that's just what your fear brain is trying to do. It notices, oh, body is in stress, body is in fear. I need to get rid of this. What is something that could be causing this? And obviously a relationship can be triggering in the sense that you have a fear of connection. So your partner comes too close and you have this fear feeling. So it's not weird that your fear brain is kind of like biting down on your relationship. But where the doubts and the breakup urges come from is that your fear brain is just trying to protect you and trying to solve this problem. And it focuses on your relationship because when you break up, that is a big choice, that is a big thing, but then all your problems might be gone. But obviously, when you do break up, chances are quite large that you will feel exactly the same, either immediately or when you've met somebody else. So for your fear brain, it sounds like the perfect solution. It's a very big and hard decision, but after that, you're good. You're fine. But that's not true, because then it will probably bite down on something else or on a next relationship. So that's why the thoughts can also be so um, it can feel so urgent, and you can have these breakup urges because your fear brain is just trying to protect you. But it cannot, your fear brain cannot find the true cause, because it cannot look in the past. And the wisdom of your body can. And that will lead you to healing. But your fear brain just feels more acute, feels more urgent right now, because it is made to protect you against a direct physical attack. And so it needs a solution right now. And so that voice of fear and that the feeling of fear feels much more urgent and much more in the forefront, because it is made to protect you. So this biting down on your relationship can actually mean that your relationship is important to you, which is kind of such a mind twist, right? Because the harder the decision is to make, the more your fear brain thinks that that's the solution. If you wouldn't care about your partner, it would be pretty easy to just see, oh, well, then I'll just break up and I'll see whether that works or not. But your fear brain is just trying to find something that is the solution. And the harder the solution is, no, the harder the, lost the word there. The harder it is to make a decision, there you go, the more your fear brain will think that that's the solution, and it's trying to like push you towards that solution, because it's saying, well, you're feeling all this fear and we need to get out of that, and your relationship might be it, and you're not breaking up, and you're being weak, and you're just afraid that you will end up alone, and that's not a reason to stay in this relationship, so you really have to break up. Maybe all these thoughts are, you recognize all these thoughts. But because of that, you focus on the wrong thing. Your fear brain is focused on protection, is focused on the now. It cannot look back. It cannot see your old pain and your old triggers and see that as the reason or the cause of the fear you have right now. So that's what the fear brain is. That's how it works. And that's why it will never bring you to a solution. If you keep thinking from fear, if you keep trying to solve this thing with fear, you will never get closer to love and happiness. I wish it was true. I wish that would work in that way. And it doesn't. And I wish for you that you heal faster. And that just requires a completely different take. So that's what we're doing in the online program that is going to launch in August. If you want to know more, you can look in the description below or watch this video up here. That will give you the latest update on the program. But healing these triggers, very specific triggers and very specific pains, that will solve the problem of you feeling all this fear and all this anxiety and having these obsessive thoughts and not being able to relax. When you've healed, when you are healing, and when you've healed the fearful, avoidant attachment style, you will be able to relax. You will be able to be in the moment, really enjoy your life, your relationship. And I so wish that for you. So let me know in the comments below whether you recognize any of this, because like I said, the fear brain and the fear system are not really official terms, but they are the words that really helped me to kind of understand what was going on. So let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next one.